You've watched a couple of YouTube videos, you've got the flooring picked out, and you're thinking, how hard can it really be? But here's the question you should be asking yourself before starting any DIY flooring installation. Do you actually know what's underneath your floor right now? Because what's under there is the reason most DIY flooring jobs fail and the reason I get called in to redo them. Stick around because this video could save you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of frustration. Coming up in this video, I'm going to answer the 3 things every homeowner wants to know before they start a DIY flooring installation project. First, can you really install flooring yourself? Or is it way harder than those YouTube videos make it look? Second, what are the most common DIY mistakes that ruin a floor? And I'm talking about the ones that don't show up until months later when it's too late. And third, when is it actually worth hiring a professional instead of doing it yourself? And how do you know before you've already made an expensive mistake? Let me tell you about something that happened recently. I had a customer who purchased his flooring materials from us. He wanted to do the install himself to save money on the project. I get it, I really do. So I sent him all the helpful videos from our YouTube channel so he could understand each step of the process. I even tried to convince him to let us handle the project, but he insisted that he could do everything himself. So he bought the flooring and got started. He began the prep work, and that's when things changed real fast. He quickly realized he was not skilled enough to do the leveling and he didn't have the proper tools. So he called me back and asked if we could just do the prep work and he would handle the installation. Unfortunately, I had to say no. We were over a month booked out and we only offer our subfloor preparation as a package with the installation. But the client learned a valuable lesson. Flooring installation requires a lot more skill and the right tools than most people expect. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today so you don't end up in the same situation. So let's talk about what a flooring installation actually involves. Because what you see online is usually just a small piece of the whole picture. Most DIY flooring videos skip straight to the satisfying part, clicking the planks together. It looks easy, it looks clean, and it makes you feel like you can knock it out in a weekend. But what they either don't show or don't know how to do themselves is the hours of subfloor preparation that happens before a single plank goes down. Let me walk you through what a real flooring project looks like step by step. First, you've got to remove the old flooring and dispose of it. Then you need to inspect the subfloor for damage, moisture, any leveling issues. After that, you need to grind down any high spots or fill any low spots to get the floor flat. Then there's moisture testing and applying a moisture barrier if needed. You also need to make sure the new flooring has time to acclimate to your home. And then then you get to click the planks together. I can't tell you how many jobs I walked into where the homeowner watched a 10-minute video and thought that was the entire process. That 10-minute video covered maybe 20% of the actual work. Now let's talk about the specific mistakes I see most often with DIY installs. The number one issue is separation and gaps starting to form at the joints. This happens when the subfloor isn't flat, and over time the planks start shifting and pulling apart, and this alone can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 or more to fix, because the floor usually has to come up entirely. Then there's skipping moisture testing. If you don't test the moisture levels in your subfloor, especially over concrete, you can end up with cupping, buckling, or even mold growth underneath your floor. That kind of moisture damage can cost you $2,000 or more just in remediation, and that's not even counting the cost of a new floor. Another big one is not leaving expansion gaps around the edges of the room. Your floor needs room to expand and contract with temperature changes. If you push it tight against the walls, it's going to buckle, and once that happens, it usually means a full tear out and reinstall. Improper acclimation is another common one. If you install the flooring right out of the box without letting it adjust to your home's temperature and humidity, it can expand or contract after it's installed. And then there's using the wrong underlayment. If you have LVP flooring that already comes with the pad attached and you add another layer of underlayment underneath, the floor becomes too soft and the locking mechanisms will break over time. Both of those mistakes can lead to locking mechanism failures across the entire floor. And we're talking anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 or more per issue to fix. And the worst part is most of these don't show up right away. They show up months later when it's too late to do anything but start all over again. Here's something else nobody talks about: the hidden costs of doing it yourself. You think you're saving money, but have you really added everything up? First, there's a time. What you think will take a weekend can easily turn into 2 weeks. Then you've got wasted materials from bad cuts and mistakes. Those can add up really fast. Then you've got the tool rentals, things like saws, leveling equipment, and moisture meters that you probably don't have sitting around in your garage. And then there's the biggest hidden cost of all. If things go wrong and you need a professional to come in and tear everything out and start over, that can cost you double what it would have just to hire them in the first place. You're paying for the removal of the bad install plus the full cost of a new one. That's a tough pill to swallow. Now here's one that really catches people off guard. Even if your floor looks decent on the surface, if it wasn't installed to manufacturer specifications, your warranty is voided. That means if something goes wrong down the line, you're not covered at all. And here's the thing that really puts this into perspective. Even most flooring companies don't install to manufacturer specifications. If the pros are getting it wrong, what chance does a weekend DIYer have? Your floor might look fine today, but the warranty that's supposed to protect your floor for years is worth nothing if the installation wasn't done properly. So let's say you've already started your project. Here are some warning signs to watch for that tell you something is going wrong. If your planks are not locking flush and you can feel a lip between the boards, that's a red flag. If the floor feels uneven when you walk on it, that's a problem. If you're seeing visible gaps at the joints, even small ones, that's going to get worse and worse over time. And if you hear clicking or movement when you walk across the floor, that means the subfloor underneath was not properly prepared. If you're noticing any of these signs, it's time to stop and reassess before you go any further. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Aren't some flooring types easier to install than others? And yes, some products are easier to physically click together. Click Lock LVP and laminate are simpler to snap into place compared to something like solid hardwood. But here's what I want you to understand. Easier to click together does not mean easier to install correctly. The prep work is the same regardless of what type of flooring you're putting down. You still need a flat, clean subfloor. You still need moisture testing. You still need proper acclimation and the right underlayment. And I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't recommend DIYing any floor. You will miss many steps of the process, and although you might end up with a decent looking floor on the surface, over the years, all the steps you've skipped will start showing as the floor ages. So when does DIY actually work? Very few DIY jobs are done well. And the ones that are usually people who already have a bunch of tools and they do a lot of home projects. They've built up the skill set over time, but for everyone else, and that's most homeowners, hiring a professional isn't just about convenience. It's about protecting your investment. If you skip steps now, they will show up as the floor ages. And by the time you notice the problems, it's going to cost you a lot more to fix than it would have cost to do it right the first time. And if after all of this you're still thinking, yeah, I want to try this myself, then the very next thing you need to figure out is what tools you actually need. Because let me tell you, it's more than a saw and a tape measure. I'm putting together a full video breaking down every tool you'll need as a beginner. And I'll link it right here as soon as it drops next week. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.